with Darcy Oake, the grand illusionist of the Illusionist show. Which is in Vancouver right now, and local born Canadian boy who I've actually known since I was like 19, 20.
Yeah, it's been a while for sure. Go way back.
Yeah.
To the Joey's days.
Ugh.
How long did you work there for?
I did 3 different Joeys over like a span of 3 years or something.
Yeah.
And you were there for like a day?
Yeah, they tried to fire me, and then I convinced them to let me stay, and then I was like, I quit. But I'm completely unemployable. Like,
Yeah.
I can't do anything other than work for myself. It's like any real job I've ever had, I either like got fired or quit from within the first like week, 2 weeks.
Yeah. So
Never
that's
as well.
why you're doing
Exactly.
illusions
Yeah,
now.
totally. That was always been my passion, always what I was like focused on. So anything else just got in the way, and I was like, don't tell me what to do.
Yeah.
I got this thing going on. So
How do you choose which illusions you're going to do, or I'm going to be this kind of magician, or do this kind of thing, or?
it's just like, it sort of happens like naturally kind of over time. Like the stuff that sort of like always fascinated me was like the live theater show, like going to a theater and sitting there and like waiting for a show to start, and like that anticipation and like being in a live setting, where other guys sort of like, will do like close-up stuff or whatever, or like street magic type things, but it was always like the live theater show that fascinated me. So that was always what I was working towards, and to get there you have to do a bunch of like small shows and and really cut your teeth before you can like start performing in like real theaters. So it was a long journey for sure, but so far so good, I guess.
And how do you even start learning this?
Well, I started like before YouTube was a real thing. Before you could like find the answers to anything on Google.
Oh, you can.
Yeah, well, so yeah, Google that right now. How does he do all this stuff?
Yeah.
But that's the other thing too, which like on the other side of it, like helps I think progress this forward, is because everybody in this show does understand. You can go home and Google things and try to find the answers to it. So you kind of have to stay one step ahead of all of it. But originally it was like books and libraries and like VHS tapes, and then I like met a few other like local like magicians and stuff that sort of pointed me in like the direction of where to like find information and material and stuff. And it was it's a pretty much like self-taught, self-discipline, like just finding every aspect and facet like where you can learn.
So you didn't learn from other magicians? Do they talk to each other?
Yeah. Some of them are pretty closed off. I always say that like the magic world doesn't necessarily attract the most normal of people. People who get involved in it are like probably wired a little bit differently. But once you sort of like you're not just like a person who wants to know how it works. It's like usually magicians are pretty open, and there's a pretty big like underground community of like people who literally just consult and create, like don't perform. It's like like guys that sit there and just develop material and either like develop it for someone specifically or get hired on for a specific project, because you can only do so much yourself, right?
Yeah.
So a show like this takes a team of like 30 people to pull off.
Yeah.
I'm
gonna reach out to them just so I can find out the answer.
Yeah, you have to prove yourself first. Yeah, you can't just call them up and be like, unless the money's right.
I guess so. So you joined the Illusionists. When did you do that?
Like 4 years ago. Okay. I've been in and out. There's like, I've done like, I don't know, probably 9 different versions of the show in different territories. I've always been part of the Canadian dates, which is good.
Yeah.
We did like the thing in the Middle East, done South Africa with them, did a US tour with them.
Do you vibe off of having a team around you, or do you like it better doing your own shows?
There's ups and downs for both of it. Like in this situation, it's like there's 5 other people in the show that like if I come up with an idea or something, I can be like, hey, what do you think about this? Mm-hmm. And it's nice to not have to like do the whole show, I guess, like whereas doing your own solo show, it's like 2 hours of just you up there, which I love doing, but the prep for that is a lot more. I feel like doing the whole show on your own, there's more opportunity to connect with the audience and like take them on a journey, if you will, or like connect with them on different emotional levels, or like some parts are funny, some parts are heartfelt, some part, on this you're getting different takes on the craft and different people who specialize in different styles. So it's both of them. I like both of them for sure.
What's your favorite thing about Vancouver?
This like how the city on like the water, like this like metropolitan downtown, like right on the ocean, it's amazing.
Yeah.
That's the ocean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where do you go from here?
I'm gonna take a little bit of time after to start working on new material. I have a bunch of stuff that I want to like create and work on. Because when you're in this sort of dynamic, it's hard to like develop brand new stuff. Like you can write it down and write bits and whatever, but to actually like bring it to fruition, you need like a solid chunk of time. So I have a warehouse space back home that's like basically a big man cave.
Really?
We go in there and like create. working on like just the little subtleties that people like would never notice, but all of those things together make it what it is. So from like coming up with an idea to putting it on stage, depending on what it is, like it takes a long time for sure. Because you don't like, if you put something out there that's like not ready, you're just a shitty magician.
Like,
right?
Can people tell?
You can feel it. You can feel it for sure. If it's not like a worked, honed bit, like it's like, huh? I feel like they might not be able to explain why it was weird, but it's like it feels weird.
Yeah. What's your favorite? What do you call them? Illusions? Acts?
Yeah, a bit or effect or whatever. See, it's tough to say. Like, I guess it would have to be the birds, because that's like sort of what like sort of
got
changed my
famous.
career path. Yeah, I guess. And it was funny because before I did that on Britain's Got Talent, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I feel like, you could open up a box and take an animal out and people would be like, ah!
Yeah.
So I thought it was like...
Puppies?
Well, right? And I was like, is this like a cheap way of getting applause from the audience? I don't know. Like, you get so close to your material, you forget how, like, a person who's never seen it before perceives it the first time they see it.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll probably stop doing this. I don't know. And then they asked me to do it on that show, and I did. And I was like, yeah, this is going to have to stay in the show for a long time.
I think I've seen it a million times on YouTube and Facebook and everywhere from people reposting it.
Yeah.
But seeing it live, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, right? And it's like way different seeing it live. It's cool.
What would you achieve and you're like, okay, I did it?
Anything that, like, I guess sort of like, like pushes the art form forward, or like pushes the boundaries, or becoming known for something that like nobody's done before, which is a tricky thing, because like I always say there's only like 8 effects you can really do. It's like you can make something appear, disappear, read someone's mind. There's like 8 of those. So it's all about like putting a fresh spin on it. And like, certain guys become known for like their approach to the whole craft, like David Blaine. Like, what you're gonna get when you hear his name. Yeah. And that's kind of a similar like path I want to sort of take, is where like you hear the name and you're like, oh, I know kind of what I'm gonna see. Yeah. In terms of like the style. So it's kind of like this weird cycle of like coming up with new material and trying to get as many people to see it, and putting on the live show, and it's like it's just a never-ending process of like creating, working, performing, rehearsing. But you're doing it. And I love it. It never feels like work. So. Okay, well, thanks so much for talking to us, and it was great catching up with you. And after all these years, and I'm actually so proud of everything that you do. I appreciate that. And the show is amazing, incredible, really funny. So hopefully you come back and more people can see it.